Hi, I'm Dave Caron, the chef at the Rainbow Grille at Tall Timber Lodge in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. Tonight we're doing Trout Almondine, so let's get started. To start, we're going to make an almond flour. So we take sliced almonds, put them in a food processor, and we're going to pulverize these until they're just very fine like a flour. So now the almonds are ground fine enough, and we're going to take a half a cup of just regular flour and add that. And we're going to grind it some more just to blend the two. Now we're going to add another half a cup of almonds, and we're going to grind those up about halfway just to give the flour some texture. So now the almonds are about half ground. So we're going to dredge the trout in the finished flour, but before we do that, we want to add some just sliced almonds on top of the flour, because when we put the trout in this flour, that's going to stick first, and it's going to make the trout look really nice as it cooks. So I take the trout, it's been washed and dried, and we just take it and press it into the flour and then flip it over. And if there's some spots that the flour didn't quite attach, you can just take the flour and drizzle it over it. And that's what it should look like when it's done floured. We're going to cook the trout in 4 tablespoons of butter. I use a non-stick pan. If you're going to do this recipe, you have to use non-stick. So we put the 4 tablespoons of butter in. Just make sure you get all the butter melted. And I like to cook trout on medium heat. And once the butter's melted, you take the fish, and if there's any excess flour on the fish, just shake it a little bit, because that excess flour, if you left it on, it would burn. So then you add it to the pan. It's going to take about 7 total minutes to cook, about 6 minutes on this side, and then I squeeze some lemon on it and flip it over for about a minute. You can see the trout's really cooking nicely, and on the edges it's beginning to brown on the sides. When it has about a minute left, I'll take a wedge of lemon and squeeze it over the top of the fish. You'll notice that after the lemon goes in, it really starts to bubble up. That's actually going to help brown the fish a little bit. Then we'll look again to see if it's browning, and it is quite nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it. Now about another minute, and then I'll check it to see if it's cooked. We'll see if it breaks, and it does break. The flesh is nice and white when it breaks through like that. And if you just lay it back down, it goes back to retain its form. And now we're going to make the sauce. So after you take the fish out of the pan, you clean the pan out. Wait maybe like 30 seconds or so on high heat, just to let the pan get nice and hot. And then you add approximately about 1/8 of a cup of frangelico, and then you flame it. After the flames subside, you can add 3 tablespoons of butter. And then while the sauce is cooking, you want to make sure you keep stirring the pan. Wait until all the butter melts. Probably want to reduce it about halfway, and it gets nice and thick, and it's going to coat the fish really nice. And as you shake it, you can see that it's getting nice and thick. So after the sauce is reduced by half and it's nice and thick, then you just take and coat it all over the fish, and it always makes the fish really look great for a presentation. So here's the Rainbow Grille's Trout Almondine. I'd love to cook some for you, so come on up to Tall Timber Lodge in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. We hope to see you soon.